Hi everyone, and thanks for being with me. And please remember to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications, do whatever it is that you need to do in order to, I don't know, help me, I guess. Doesn't cost you anything, so please subscribe to my channel. That would be absolutely fabulous. Now today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Liberal Party and the demise of the Liberal Party. The reality is that the Liberal Party is on their way out, and it's a bit of a shame because we need a strong opposition fighting against the government, helping them to understand the errors of their ways, so they can find ways to improve the way they behave, the policies that they make, and the way they interact with you and I. And there was a wonderful segment on Insiders, something that some of you may not watch, with regard to something that one of the commentators, Nikki Savvy, had to say in relation to where the Liberal Party sits right at this moment. Now, I believe that the Liberal Party have this kind of bizarre relationship with the Nationals, and that it's like a relationship that's a bit toxic, a bit unhealthy, but is a relationship which at some point needs to break up. And someone needs to make that decision that that relationship is not very healthy, for one thing, and it's not going to last. And the reason why it's not very healthy is that the National Party tended to adopt many of the policies that the community disagreed with, and that particularly the urban city areas, they decided that they didn't like the idea of nuclear energy. They didn't like the ideas that Dutton was floating about people having to work from, they couldn't work from home. So there were lots of things. They just didn't like Peter Dutton, let's be honest. But at the end of the day, there are many of the policies that they didn't like, and the way they were delivered and the way they were constructed, and that the Liberal Party seemed to have failed to understand that they need to be able to move more to the centre as opposed to away from the centre and to the right. But the Nationals, they believe that they are in the right position because they have stuck by their policies, as disliked as they were around the rest of the world, but they were, the rest of the country rather, but they were their policies were disliked, but not within the country areas, the redneck areas of Australia. So Nikki comes up with a really good summary as to where the Liberal Party sit at this particular point. Here's the video.
But AI...
worse than the polling.
No, well, exactly. But Nikki, just listening to those positions there, everything is up for review. Clearly some things, though, are less up for review than others by the sounds of it, including things like AUKUS and even the health commitments made during the election. It sounded from Anne Ruston there that they're not about to walk away from those. But there have been some in the party, though, saying they back too many of these Labor spending measures.
Well, that's true. And, you know, there was an internal tussle about the size of the deficit and whether they should be spending all this money or trying to counter it by putting a more credible, you know, budget forward that showed a lower deficit. Well, of course, that never happened. But look, you know, just listening to a lot of the Libs talking about what happened and what they should be doing, apart from meeting Australians wherever they are,
where they're at,
is, you know, they keep talking about, you know, we will stand up for our values and we will stand up for our philosophy. Nobody knows what they are anymore. Nobody knows what the Liberals stand for or what it is they actually intend to do.
Just on that point, I mean, I feel sorry for Liberals doing interviews at this point because the kind of rules of daily political media and rhetoric dictate that they can't use language that actually matches the extent of the crisis that they're in. They're in an existential crisis and the future of their party is up for debate as to whether that can be a viable party of government.
But isn't one of the problems that they've refused to acknowledge that? I mean, 2022 showed the extent of the problem that they faced and that it could be existential, and nobody talked about it. Everybody carried on as if nothing had happened.
Yeah, and I think some are talking with that level of strength. James, I thought the best idea and best comments on the record from a Liberal this week came from Senator James McGrath, who's a big thinker and doesn't do much media. He says that the party needs to do a special commission of inquiry into the future of the Liberal Party. Not a normal election review, not just into how their corflutes looked or what their policy was, but what is the raison d'etre of the party? Are its logistics up to scratch? I mean, the party's professionalism, back room, it's like comparing a top of the league AFL team with a great coaching unit, that's Labor, and a bottom of the league team that's at risk of getting relegated. They're not a professional party anymore. Their candidate selection is a problem. They don't use the digital tools that Labor does. Their branding looks old. James McGrath wants a root and branch look at the party that's not about blame shifting, because his view is that there's a chance that they go the way of the Conservative Party in Scotland. They just can't win elections anymore.
Well, let's move to Labor now. And
So I think some good points were made by Nikki, that really, at the end of the day, unless the Liberal Party can get their act together, they're going to find themselves wallowing in, sitting in their own shit for a long, long time to come, because they will find it difficult to make the shift to the centre when the Nationals in particular are pushing against them, pushing them further and further to the right. So let's see what happens. Remember to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll be really anxious to hear from you. Take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.